Electronic brainstorming, where learners share and propose ideas. In an electronic learning environment, learners build ideas by sharing and gathering from peers. As they contribute, I encourage quiet students with positive reinforcement. This means showing encouragement. As a trainer, I ask questions during discussions, and teachers applaud. I'm encouraging learners to build their ideas by proposing and sharing to gather ideas from others. When they start contributing, like in traditional classroom brainstorming, I let the quiet student speak, using positive reinforcement. When a student sees encouragement, like when I'm asking questions during the discussion forum, some teachers applauded. This is positive reinforcement. I chose a student and kept saying thank you by name in pairs and threes, so everyone knows this student is focused and participating well. Therefore, when I use these reinforcement methods, that's what I have. I can't give more. There are no grades in the training course. Using positive reinforcement, when a student sees encouragement, some teachers applauded. I chose a specific student and kept saying thank you by name, so everyone knows this student is focused and participating well. When I use these methods, that's what I have. You all are participating, and that's what matters. This is a type of positive reinforcement. I chose a specific Osama and I kept saying, thank you so-and-so, thank you so-and-so, and thank you so-and-so by name, Sanai and Salasi, so that everyone would know that he is a colleague who is focused with us and participating 100%. Therefore, when I use reinforcement methods, these are what I have in hand. I don't give reinforcement. I give more than that. There are no grades in the training course. There are no grades. You share. That means share a little of it. You need to be a positive participant because you don't want your time to be wasted. You're here with a trainer, so you should be active because honestly, it's a shame to waste time negatively. Positive participation earns you rewards, good deeds, knowledge, and understanding. I'm not just sitting here listening to someone ramble on. I'm engaging, asking questions, and having discussions in a learning session. This learning session is important. Positive participation is key. When the doctor spoke, I encouraged them. I said bravo and applauded them when they made their points. When the doctor mentioned insights, I acknowledged that. This is a form of encouragement. Send me a heart, doctor. There's positive reinforcement between us. I was brainstorming. What do you think the video should do? People asked about differences, and I said, bravo, that's great. I'm brainstorming. We discussed differences. Send a heart. Positive reinforcement in chat is vital for brainstorming. I asked, what should the video do? And got feedback on individual differences. We discussed individual differences as brainstorming. Negative criticism isn't helpful. In brainstorming, focus on quantity over quality. I say to the group, what do you think the video does? People ask me about individual differences and I don't know what it is. I said, bravo, great. So I brainstorm and give it positive reinforcement. Isn't it harmful between us in the chat about individual differences? Is it considered brainstorming? Okay, of course. Negative criticism is not good, Dr. Saleh. What you said is 100% true. I even got a monkey because of the small font. Of course, sometimes I pronounce some words and I read them very small. The screen is a little far from me. Negative criticism is completely prohibited. In brainstorming, the focus is on quantity, not quality. Accordingly, negative criticism is prohibited. I am with you on the part that brainstorming. Here's the goal: encourage idea sharing and acceptance. I write in Arabic, Iye, and English. Acceptance of all ideas is really important. What to do with ideas? I encourage you all. Thanks for participating. Correct answers got positive reinforcement. My writing reflects reality. Here I am. Brainstorming is a method. I have to accept all ideas for things that come from the learners. What should I do now for the ideas? I write in the chat. Here I am with you. He says encouragement. I am here to encourage. Okay? So I didn't give any negative criticism. I just ignored the wrong comments and instead provided praise and encouragement for everyone in general. Thank you for your participation. But of course, for those who answered correctly, I gave them a lot of positive reinforcement. I tried as much as possible to avoid any negative criticism, and that's what happened. What I wrote reflects what actually took place. Dr. Ahmed, are you with me in the professional certification for quality? Is that your name? I'm saying you're interacting with me. You were with me yesterday in the quality lecture, and honestly, it was exhausting, Dr. Ahmed. Back to back, yesterday in the lecture, I noticed that the president was with you in the quality session, and you saw it, but it wasn't 3 hours, and today it's 4 hours. I don't know when it will end. I mean, what happened was a mistake, but that's it. I traveled to the Lion. Welcome, Dr. Ahmed. You're also tired, attending 2 days in a row. That's it. We're talking about brainstorming, accepting all ideas. Thanks, Dr. Islam. We're discussing Dr. Fatima, accepting all ideas and encouragement. It's noted. Brainstorming is about positive reinforcement. He said, negative criticism must be avoided. Isn't it, Dr. Saleh? All good? Thanks, Dr. Nizar. Dr. Inas, until Dr. Saleh confirmed. Dr. Inas says what? She's saying, even if wrong, I can say all encouraging ideas noted. Brainstorming is positive reinforcement, as Dr. Saleh said. Dr. Saleh Suleiman emphasized preventing negative criticism. It's about embracing ideas and promoting positivity. Dr. Inas, even if someone errs, I can affirm your point stands and no one is wrong. Your insights are excellent, Dr. Inas and Dr. Saeed. We worked on comparisons, right? Dr. Saeed is working on positive reinforcement. I appreciate your expertise. All courses are impressive. Discussing this is an honor, Dr. Inas. People like you are kind, and it's a pleasure to know you. Time is tight, Dr. Inas. Your point is right. That's a good start. Your points are great, Dr. Inas and Dr. Saeed. We worked on comparisons, right? Dr. Saeed is on positive reinforcement types. This course is part of the university's effort. I appreciate your work as a content expert. All courses are impressive. Discussing this is an honor, Dr. Inas. People like you are kind, and it's a pleasure to know each other. We're talking about Dr. Inas's and Dr. Saeed's correct points and Dr. Saleh's good points. Let's wrap it up. Let's close the topic of electronic brainstorming because everyone now knows the outcome from the forum or chat. I don't know why I say chat instead of forum. Anyway, the conversation inside the virtual classroom. It's not strange to me, Dr. Said. Dr. Said works on positive reinforcement. I mentioned this course as part of the university's effort. I appreciate your effort as a content expert. All courses are impressive. Discussing this is an honor, Dr. Inas. People like you are kind, and it's a pleasure to know each other. Now we're discussing Dr. Inas's and Dr. Said's points, and before them, Dr. Saleh's. Let's wrap it up. Let's close the topic of electronic brainstorming because everyone now knows the outcome from the forum or chat. I don't know why I say chat instead of forum. Anyway, the conversation in the virtual classroom has Dr. Inas's points are correct and Dr. Said's points are correct. And before them, Dr. Saleh had a good discussion. Let's wrap it up now and listen to us. Let's take a moment to close the topic of electronic brainstorming because I think everyone who didn't know before now knows the outcome of the brainstorming that took place in the discussion forum or the chat. I don't know why I always find myself saying chat instead of discussion forum. Anyway, the chat, the conversation inside the virtual classroom has been going on since Dr. Saleh, Dr. Inas, Dr. Saeed, and of course the colleagues like Dr. Ahmed and the rest of the team have been discussing this topic. The discussion has been revolving around this point since Dr. Saleh, Dr. Inas, Dr. Saeed, and of course our colleagues like Dr. Ahmed and the rest of the team have been involved. Dr. Suwaid is asking a question and I read it. What is the easiest part? What is the hardest part? These questions can be directed to brainstorming. Okay, according to the topic, Dr. Suhair, for example, I can brainstorm to come up with ideas or generate ideas. The easiest part can vary between being original and relying on individual reading. I can give you another example, Dr. Suhair. That might help us. For instance, I always say that I'm a teacher and I teach databases. I can do a brainstorming session and ask the kids, what are some examples of databases that we find in our daily lives at home, in our traditional daily life? And I'm not talking about SQL databases or the regular databases like Microsoft Access or Oracle or any of those names from the Global Database Council. So they brainstorm and someone says, Dr. Abdul Rahman, is a wardrobe similar to a database? They explain, because here we have a process of handling clothes, just like handling data. I tell them that there is adding and deleting done. With new clothes, we add them, and with old clothes, we delete them. For dirty clothes, we process them by cleaning. So there is processing of the content inside the wardrobe, and I can look at it like data. For example, I have blue, green, yellow, and red pants. When I choose one, that becomes information. The difference between data and information is that database principles apply to the wardrobe. The kitchen cupboard is similar for pots, plates, and utensils. This is similar. New clothes are added, worn clothes are thrown away, and dirty clothes are cleaned. So there is a complete treatment of the contents inside the closet, and I can extract as much as I can see, like having data where I have blue, green, yellow, and red pants. When I choose one, that becomes information. The difference between data and information is that I applied the principles of databases to the wardrobe. I can use the same example in the kitchen with the cupboard for pots, plates, and utensils. What's it called? So I sit down and tell him that the dirty plate gets washed. And it's the same story I told him about the clothes. So I start brainstorming and I say, it's easy. Then the students start saying, the cupboard is like our home library. One says, I don't know what, and another says, the toy cupboard. Everyone is brainstorming.